Hello one and all, this is Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for joining me in today's Hydroneer Pimp My Plot episode. So today I have been given this save file from my very own follower, Vapour HD. Thank you very much for kicking it by. This has been... I've already done a few tiny things where I've moved the filters over here for my own OCD rights and so on and so forth. The thing that is getting me is there is so much stuff just laying around that it's just... Yeah, I'm not even sure what were you thinking coming all the way down here when... I mean, this is messy. So, right, okay, so I'm not going to bother... I'm not bothering with the underground section. I'm just going to try and help out the top. I'm not sure why he's been doubling up on his shard bars as well. That seems a bit redundant, but that's just me. Okay, so he's got lots and lots of stuff laying around. He's got spare pipes, spare bits and pieces, and lots of things just stacked up randomly because, well, hey, who cares, really? Right, so, yeah, he's started this build and actually doesn't look too bad, in all fairness, but the downside is that, number one, he had loads of stuff laying around, so the first thing I did was delete all the particles because they needed to go. They really needed to go. So with these, you don't really need these much anymore. We can leave these to the side and sort of like be happy that they're gone. I've got to be honest, the pipe work here, unless these are feeding like everything up here, you don't really need them back here. And the problem with having, I'm trying to figure out the pipe work here because it doesn't seem to be anything like this. I think this pipe here is connecting the ram drills. But it seems to be like there's a lot of... I'm not sure why this pipe is so long and the crystals are down here. So the shards should be here and they would just power everything. Depending on how many layers you're willing to put in up here is depending on how many shards you need and where it's going to all sort of like congregate to. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift all of these and... oh, you've hammered them down as well. Right. Oh, man. So we need those 4 removed. I'm going to copy that one because we're going to need that in a sec. We're just going to remove these. This is right. So for the record, guys, anybody who basically puts their system together and hammers their pipes together, just make sure you know where your hammer is afterwards. And in all fairness, that one's pretty redundant. We don't really need that. Fandabby doozy. Right, that can go in there. That can go in there. That can go in there. And we'll copy that one up and that can go in there. So, in order to stop the amount of water that is going to be sort of like thrown out of this system, and I've got a couple of questions to ask about why certain things are certain. I don't know about why that's there. I'm not sure. Right. So the downside is if you're going to have all of these turning all on at one time, the best thing to do is to actually take all of this out and turn it into a T-pipe and then just join it to the main pipe. So we're going to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of... we're going to get rid of that and get rid of that. This one, we're going to turn on its side. We are going to get a T-pipe and we're going to stick it. Let me just figure my brain out a second. We're going to stick that there. I'm going to stick that there. I'm going to take another one and turn it around. Right, and then we're going to copy this pipe in. It's either genius or it's madness. One of the two. Right, we're going to take this one. We're going to chuck that there. And we're going to copy... Oh, no, that's a pressure gauge. We don't need the pressure gauge. You generally don't need pressure gauges. Get rid of that one. And bring this one. That one. Right. And now we just need a T-pipe. There. Alright, so we need to get rid of that one. And we need one of those. Right there. Okay, so now all you literally need to do, if you want to turn on your water system, yeah, push that one there. And that's all good. And now we can get rid of all of this piping that's under here that's not connected to anything, and that's good. And that basically just tidies up this mess, I would say. So another thing that I've sort of seen in this is, let me just get out and squeeze my body through this very small gap. is that you've raised it up really high in order just to build the ram drills and stuff. And if you've got nothing really going on under here, you can bring all of this down to this level now, unless you want it up high and it's all good. I mean, I'm not going to mess around with it myself personally, but if you wanted that all on down on bottom level now, you could quite happily do that, and that wouldn't be a major problem. With this piping here, in all fairness, I mean, you don't really need this so much anymore because you're not really ground digging anymore. I mean, if you are, then you could go underground. But once you've started earning a ton of cash, you don't really need this pipe. So if you want to add it in again, it's all good. But I'm going to remove it personally because there's not much point. What you have to consider now is that this is 100% worth of pressure going through. Up into that point there, if you turn this on, you're running how many ram drills? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What, let's say 12, 13 up there, so that's 24 plus the piping, so that's 48. And in 48, I mean, if you've got these running down here, then that's okay. I'm going to change this. And I'm just going to get rid of some of the piping. And the reason why is because I want to make it a little bit more streamlined for you so you don't have too much of a headache. We need a... It's just to shorten the piping length, really, more than anything. That's all it is. I mean, as I said, there's not really a... It's not really a massively bad build. It's just... You've thought about things like just a tad too much. And things just seem a little bit more complicated than they actually should be. You know? So that would fix that, and that would fix that. The downside of what you've done up here is because you've looped... Oh, what am I stuck on? Oh, you've been digging holes. Right, okay. So what I would do with this is take that one out, duplicate that in, and just wire that into there so we can get rid of this piping as well. The downside of what I've done for you is I've basically made it so the system is a little bit more easier to run. Which basically means you don't have to worry too much about pipes as much. So all those up there will literally just stop there. The no water is going to leak out at all. We've changed the piping here as well, so all this is more fluid. It's all good. Right. Let's just there is one little niggly thing that did annoy me when I saw this, and it was just like, no, that's got to change. I will check. I'm going to put these in as well. Don't worry, but. Okay, so there is a wrong and a right way to do a cork, right? So it's a bit of a strange one, but if you have it pointing out of the square like this, when you put it into it, it pokes out less. And it pokes out less enough that when you put a filter on, when you put a funnel on, it doesn't poke out the end. It's just one of those things. Yeah. So we're going to turn all these... I'm being very pedantic about this, but it's like, this has to be done. We'll pop that back in the cauldron because we need to. Right, so next is you've got your gem basket on this one. So what I need is that. And what we'll do is we'll raise this up to that platform there. We'll raise that into there. We'll pick this up and we will... Up we go. Right. Pop that there. And then we'll funnel around with this. No, we don't need another one of those. Oh. I just tipped out your cauldron again. Yes. Right. Right. So one of these you're using for okay, that explains a lot. Let me just copy that thing out, and we're going to turn that to there, and it's all good. Right, we're going to bring in another funnel, and we're going to do that to this one as well. As said, I'm not sure. I don't know if you were going for a second row. I'm not going to add one in because I'm not sure of the strength of your PC or laptop, so I'm not going to touch that. But if you're going to add another layer up there, be very careful because I mean, if you're going to add in a new layer, then you're going to have the ram drills, you're going to have funnels, and so on and so forth. What we'll do is we'll make sure this works. So I'm going to toggle on all of the drills. Going to turn the water on. So that should be running the Interesting. Oh, okay, it's because you got one of these. Right, we'll get rid of that. So that now should be running the conveyor belt, and yeah, belts are running. All good. All your ram drills are on. Let's see what the fire rate's like. There we go, that's all firing. So now this should be running perfectly. Well, so that's all running there. Let's go and have a look on the top of the ladder. Oh, sorry. Right, run away. That's better. And there you go. That's running perfect. I mean, you can run this for hours now and that's not going to die. Well, you can run it for 40 minutes before your filter dies. And then you just fix the filter. That's all good. This, I mean, personally, I'd go out and get the bigger one. I really would, because the big one's better. But yeah, you don't have to worry about this build anymore. Like I said, I'm not sure of like the capabilities of your computer, so I'm going to leave that at that. It just needed tidying up, that was all. And I mean, in all fairness, I mean, with all the stuff that's just laying around now, I mean, you could quite happily just bin the lot. You don't need any of this stuff, you don't need any of that stuff. And if you do, you just chuck this on for a little bit and it'll work, and you don't really need much else. I mean, the only thing that I would do personally, I'd just go a little bit bigger. I'd have another row on top just to put it through as a production more than anything. I'd also only limit it to 10 a line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd put those 2 on top, and then I'd put the other 2 on top as well. Then you only need 16 at the top, and then it'd be like another 20 per line. Right, that's how I would do it. So if you want to go up another level, this pipe will split up here, this pipe will split up here. From here, you literally just copy this. So your next level up, you would go into conveyor belt, you would use a pipe like this and so on and so forth. Then you would split it like this, the exact same way. So you put a T-pipe on top of it, and you bend it all off both different ways, so it powers both sides. Off of this, so that's 100. So that's what, 13, 26, 52. It'll get really tight when it comes to power, which is why I would limit this down to 10. So I would take the 2 off the end, and I'd take the 2 off the other side. So you're running on literally like 40 down here. Then you go up a couple of pipes, then you should have enough power to power the whole top end as well. If you do find it's running out of power here, change this up and turn that into a shard block. And actually, we'll do that for you now. So this would be used if you started running out of power. Personally, I don't see it happening very much, but if you do run out of power and there's like very little water getting through here and it's a slow transfer rate through the harvester, literally just fill those up with the crystals you've got over there and it's all good. What I'll do is, because you've had loads and loads of crystals, I'll just spawn you in a load, because I removed a load as well. So there you go, there's a load of crystals I took away. And sorry, shards. So that pile of shards can power that one there and that one in there. This one will literally now produce whatever you need it to. And like I said, what I would do is I would take off the 2 at the end, and I would take the 2 off the end on the other end. So I'd have 10 per row, and then I'd go up another 10 on top. And so that all of those shards down there will be able to power your entire build. And those shards down there power your harvester and your conveyor belts running into your sorters. So that should work pretty damn perfectly. So hopefully, whoever's watching this, you're actually a bit more inspired to play this game and sort out your builds. If you are still having problems with your Hydroneer builds, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try and arrange a transfer with you that I can actually go through it and make a video of it as well to show other people what they could possibly do with a build. So thank you very much for joining me. This has been Hybridsteel. If you do want to help this channel by any means now, you can now hit the join button. That basically pays this channel a couple of £1 a month, and with that I basically look into buying new games and sorting out the computer and so on and so forth. If you don't want to help the channel by being a member, you can now buy a t-shirt from the description box below. You can get a t-shirt and a mug and some other stuff that's in my merch store. And if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to say hello in the comment section below, let me know. It'd be good to see some more comments and some likes on these videos. It's awesome to actually have you all here. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you all in another video. Peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. Bye-bye for now.